Last Diddy recording played in trial.
What if I told you that Prince Rogers Nelson was the victim of a ruthless murder plot orchestrated by Hollywood's most powerful mogul, Sean Diddy Combs? A seismic shock wave has just ripped through Hollywood. In the explosive federal trial tearing through Diddy's web of depraved allegations, Cassie Ventura, former lover and victim, and now the prosecution's pivotal witness, left the nation breathless.
Prince didn't set overdose. He was silenced.
The police have reopened the case following Cassie Venter's earth-shattering testimony, and what they uncovered beneath Paisley Park's basement left everyone frozen. A hidden false wall, a mysterious wooden box, and an unreleased recording where Prince names a hip-hop mogul who ruled the industry with money, drugs, and blood. What began as a trial targeting Diddy for sexual assault charges has spiraled into a conspiracy that could topple the entire American showbiz empire. What Cassie knows and is slowly unveiling goes beyond sex, violence, or manipulation. It's about silenced voices bought with hush money, deaths meticulously staged, and a system of cover-up shielding an untouchable dynasty. What lies inside that wooden box? Why did Diddy want Prince erased? And most crucially, how many others knew about this and chose silence for 9 long years? The answers might stun you. Are you ready to uncover the truth? Join us on this relentless quest for justice for the legendary Prince, starting now.
Cassie said he would get physical. That one male guy who did things with Diddy and Cassie said he witnessed him get physical.
In late April 2016, the world reeled as news of the mysterious death of Prince Rogers Nelson, the musical icon behind timeless hits like Purple Rain and Kiss gripped headlines. His lifeless body was discovered in an elevator at his lavish Paisley Park compound in Minnesota. Authorities quickly pinned the cause on an overdose of fentanyl, a synthetic opioid 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine typically reserved for cancer patients or post-surgical pain relief. Prince's death was labeled a tragic accident, a somber tale of a star ensnared by addiction's cruel grip. No one questioned it. No one doubted it. The world mourned and moved on until May 17, 2020.
Breaking news. The trial of Sean Diddy Combs has taken a dramatic turn, with singer Cassie Ventura delivering testimony that reportedly links to the death of pop icon Prince. According to sources from the courtroom, Ventura alleges that Prince's 2016 death, officially attributed to a fentanyl overdose, may not have been accidental and could be connected to Mr. Combs. Authorities have responded swiftly, reopening the investigation and conducting an urgent search at Paisley Park. Most shocking is the discovery in the basement of Prince's residence, a mysterious wooden box hidden behind a false wall. The contents of this box are said to be critical evidence, potentially exposing a concealed criminal network within the entertainment industry that Prince had sought to uncover before his death.
Cassie Ventura's earth-shattering testimony in the trial of Sean Diddy Combs obliterated every assumption. She declared with unyielding certainty that Prince's death was no accident. It was a meticulously orchestrated murder masterminded by Diddy, a figure no one had ever connected to Prince. Spurred by her explosive revelations, police reopened the investigation with relentless fervor. A chilling discovery in the depths of Paisley Park's basement, a wooden box concealed behind a false wall, unveiled a horrifying truth, exposing a sprawling criminal network within the entertainment industry. That Prince had fought to unmask these clues didn't just dismantle the police's original conclusions. They pointed an unflinching finger at an unthinkable culprit. Did he?
That I don't know, right? What I know is that he was really health conscious. He was a vegan. He didn't abuse alcohol. I didn't know of him abusing drugs. He worked out, so, that also really concerned me, because it made me think that, wow, so you mean you do all these things to take care of yourself and you die so young?
The police have officially reopened the investigation into the death of Prince Rogers Nelson, which occurred on April 21, 2016, driven by a fierce resolve to unravel the lingering mysteries from that year. This decision was ignited by Cassie Venter's bombshell testimony on the 4th day of Sean Diddy Combs' trial. Investigators are meticulously combing through every detail of autopsy reports, witness statements, and evidence collected at Paisley Park, where Nelson was found lifeless in an elevator. The first breakthrough emerged from a carefully preserved security archive maintained by a private firm near Paisley Park. Guided by a chilling note in Nelson's journal referencing uninvited guests on the night of April 18, 2016, police demanded access to surveillance footage from neighboring homes during that time frame.
The sex trafficking trial of rap mogul Sean Diddy Combs is set to begin tomorrow. Nearly 8 months after his arrest, jury selection will begin here in Manhattan. It is happening the same day.
Official announcement. The investigation into the death of Mr. Prince Rogers Nelson, which occurred on April 21, 2016 at Paisley Park, has been reopened with a commitment to resolving lingering uncertainties. This decision was prompted by critical testimony from Ms. Cassie Ventura during the trial of Mr. Sean Diddy Combs on Wednesday. We are conducting a comprehensive review of the case file, including forensic reports, witness statements, and evidence collected at the Paisley Park scene, where Mr. Nelson was found deceased in an elevator. A significant development stems from security data retained by a private security firm near the Paisley Park area. Based on entries in Mr. Nelson's journal referencing uninvited guests on the night of April 18, 2016, we have requested access to security camera footage from neighboring residences for that time period. The investigation remains ongoing. We are dedicated to uncovering the truth, whatever it may be, as Prince and his family deserve answers. Updates will be provided as appropriate. Thank you.
Luck was on their side in this wealthy enclave. Several residents had stored years of security video on cloud servers. Armed with a court order, the FBI recovered footage from a camera directly across from Paisley Park, capturing a black sedan idling near a side gate from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. on April 18, 2016. Motion sensors inside Prince's home preserved pristine by Paisley Park's vigilance staff logged unusual activity at 12:47 a.m. and 1:15 a.m., yet the front door remained untouched. Detective Elena Marquez, a young investigator with razor-sharp instincts, floated a chilling hypothesis. An intruder had slipped through a rarely used basement door tucked behind the garden out of sight from internal cameras. License plate analysis traced the sedan to Marcus Tate, Diddy's right-hand man. A re-examination of the basement door revealed faint signs of tampering, as if a spare key had been used. It explained the lack of forced entry. Sensor data confirmed deliberate movement through a hallway leading to the living room, the very spot where a party had unfolded on April 18th. The truth was creeping closer, and it pointed straight at Diddy's inner circle.
The trial of Sean Diddy Combs at Manhattan Federal Court has entered its fourth day with highly anticipated testimony from singer Cassandra Cassie Ventura. The atmosphere in the courtroom grew tense as Miss Ventura took the witness stand dressed in a gray dress. She maintained a calm yet cautious demeanor while facing her former boyfriend and music producer. Chief Prosecutor Eleanor Hayes pressed Miss Ventura to provide detailed accounts of events referred to as freak-off parties she had attended. Reporters and courtroom attendees were visibly focused as her testimony began.
Cassie drew a deep breath, her voice trembling but resolute.
6 months after meeting Sean, he invited me to a party at Paisley Park, Prince Rogers Nelson's home. That was the first time I met Prince. He spoke to me softly, differently. He warned me about Sean, about the dark underbelly of this industry. But days later, Prince was gone. They said he overdosed on fentanyl, a drug 10 times stronger than morphine, meant for post-surgery patients in agony. I believed it until another night at a freak-off party when Sean was high.
She paused, the silence heavy with dread. Then she pressed on.
Sean bragged about killing Prince. He said Prince had recorded his illegal dealings and demanded hush money. Sean laced Prince's wine with fentanyl. Prince convulsed, collapsed, and died right there. Then Sean ordered his assistant to haul Prince's body back to Paisley Park, staging the scene to fool the police.
The courtroom exploded with whispers and gasps. A woman in the gallery, believed to be a relative of Prince, broke into wrenching sobs. Judge Harold Grayson slammed his gavel, demanding order. But the sound couldn't quell the tidal wave of emotion crashing through the room. Diddy, who had maintained an unshakable calm for days now, clutched the arms of his chair, his face ashen, drained of its former confidence. Cassie's voice turned cold as ice, cutting through the chaos. I recorded Sean's confession that night. She pulled a small black device from her jacket and handed it to the prosecutor. This is the proof. He wasn't remorseful. He laughed as he told the story. As Prosecutor Hayes connected the device to the courtroom's audio system, a silence so profound gripped the room that a falling pin would have echoed. Diddy's voice, low and gravelly, dripping with smug triumph, blared through the speakers.
Prince thought he was clever, filming me, trying to extort me. I gave him a special glass of wine, fentanyl quick and clean. He convulsed, hit the floor, done. Marcus handled the rest, dragged him back to Paisley Park, left him in the elevator. The cops, too stupid to suspect a thing.
The revelation struck like a lightning bolt, leaving everyone reeling. The case had veered into unthinkable territory. Murder Judge Grayson has faced Stern as Stone declared a 3-day recess to allow the FBI to reinvestigate Prince's death. Based on Cassie's testimony, this was no longer just a trial. It was the unraveling of a sinister, meticulously concealed crime that could rewrite the history of a music legend's death. Guided by a haunting entry in Prince's journal discovered in his personal archive, the FBI descended on Paisley Park with unprecedented precision. The chilling note read, April 18, 2016. Uninvited guests. Check the east basement wall. The truth lies in the box. Beneath the basement, behind a false wall uncovered by thermal imaging agents, found a meticulously crafted wooden box sealed tight. Prince's signature symbol carved into its lid. Inside lay a trove of handwritten documents, a small vial of fentanyl, and a USB drive loaded with recordings. The final recording made on the night of April 18, 2016, became the case's linchpin. As the trial resumed, prosecutor Eleanor Hayes rose, her voice ringing like a death knell. Your Honor, we have authenticated the final recording of Prince Rogers Nelson found in the wooden box at Paisley Park. This is testimony from beyond the grave, and it changes everything. Prince's voice flooded the courtroom through the speakers, crystal clear and haunting, as if he stood among them. I'm making this recording because I know I'm in danger, he began, his tone low and cautious. Sean Combs isn't just throwing parties. He's running a machine of manipulation, forcing young artists into inescapable situations. I've recorded evidence of his illegal activities. I told him I knew the truth. He threatened me. If I die, search my archive. It's all there. Dates, places, names. The courtroom froze silent as a crypt. Prince continued. On April 18, 2016, at a party in my home, Sean arrived with a bottle of wine. I didn't trust him, but I never imagined he'd go this far. If something happens to me, check that wine. The recording answered the burning question, what secret was Prince determined to expose? A criminal network orchestrated by Diddy himself. Following Prince's clues, the FBI reanalyzed 2016 crime scene samples. Security footage near the basement door showed Marcus Tate carrying a wine bottle at 11:30 p.m. on April 18th, hours before Prince's death. Prosecutor Hayes pressed forward unrelenting. She presented further evidence, the vial from the wooden box bearing Marcus Tate's fingerprints and containing fentanyl. Forensic experts confirmed the fentanyl and the wine were potent enough to kill within minutes. This was no overdose. This was cold, calculated murder. To explain the elevator scene, the FBI reconstructed Tate's movements. After Prince collapsed in the living room, Tate, wearing clean gloves and shoes to avoid leaving traces, dragged the body through a secondary hallway to the elevator, a short route without internal cameras. He positioned Prince face up, staged naturally, and slipped out through the basement door, locking it to deflect suspicion. Paisley Park's labyrinthine layout with its hidden passages enabled Tate's undetected escape. The 2016 autopsy overlooked scuff marks or drag patterns because Tate wiped the floor with a damp cloth, a detail missed in the initial investigation. A former Diddy employee buckling under interrogation confirmed Tate acted on Diddy's direct orders. Sean said Prince had videos that could destroy his empire. The witness revealed he told Marcus to handle it at all costs. This answered the question, what drove Diddy to kill? Prince's threat to expose Diddy's criminal network risked millions in wealth and a shattered reputation. The question, who else was complicit, loomed large when the FBI found a handwritten note in box. Check those close to Sean. They know more than they say. No names were listed, but it hinted at a broader web possibly involving other industry titans. The FBI has yet to release details, fueling speculation about potential accomplices. With undeniable evidence mounting, prosecutor Hayes delivered the final blow. We move to add a first-degree murder charge against Sean Combs in the death of Prince Rogers Nelson. The courtroom erupted in hushed murmurs, but Diddy sat motionless, his eyes vacant as if his soul had already fled his body. In the wake of Cassie's testimony and Prince's chilling recording, Diddy's legal team plunged into a frenzy of panic unlike anything seen before. Anthony Russo, Diddy's lead attorney, renowned for turning hopeless cases around, now looked like a man frantically patching a sinking ship. His team huddled in relentless closed-door meetings, rifling through legal documents, desperate for a loophole to discredit the evidence. But every effort crumbled to dust. Diddy, once the epitome of confidence and power, was reduced to a hollow shadow of himself. In the days following Cassie's revelations, he shuffled into court looking haggard, dark circles carved under his eyes, his expensive suit failing to mask trembling shoulders. Reporters noted he barely spoke to his legal team, sitting with his head bowed, hands clutching the table, as if grasping at the last threads of hope outside the courtroom. The public was ablaze. Hashtags like Justice for Prince and Diddy Took Prince exploded across social media. Prince's fans, who had never accepted that their idol could fall to drugs, gathered in droves outside the courthouse, brandishing signs demanding justice. But inside, Diddy's silence screamed louder than any outburst. Gone was the fiery eruption from days before. Now, he sat like a man resigned to his fate. Diddy's legal team made a desperate final play. They argued Cassie's recording might have been manipulated and that Prince's tape lacked legal weight since he couldn't be cross-examined, but forensic experts had already verified the authenticity of both recordings. And Marcus Tate's fingerprints on the wine bottle and fentanyl vial delivered a fatal blow. In a last-ditch effort, Russo pleaded for a recess to gather more evidence, but Judge Grayson shot it down. "We will proceed," he declared, his voice hard as steel. Meanwhile, Marcus Tate, buckling under FBI pressure, flipped. During an interrogation, he confessed, his voice quivering, "Sean told me to deliver that wine to Paisley Park." Tate said, "I didn't know what was in it. He just said Prince needed to be handled. I followed orders." Tate's testimony, paired with the damning physical evidence, snuffed out Diddy's last flicker of hope. His legal team, though clinging to a facade of professionalism, couldn't hide the defeat in their eyes. A legal analyst whispered to a colleague, "This is the end of Diddy. No one walks away from a case like this." The trial stretched on for 2 more weeks, but its outcome was sealed. The evidence stacked like an unyielding fortress. Cassie's testimony, Prince's haunting recording, Marcus Tate's damning fingerprints, and the chilling security footage painted a crystal-clear picture of a meticulously orchestrated murder. With the aid of top forensic experts, the FBI reconstructed Prince's final hours. They confirmed fentanyl was laced into the wine he drank on the night of April 18, 2016. The dose was lethal within minutes, and Tate's fingerprints on the bottle were an undeniable death knell. In her closing argument, prosecutor Ella Lehner Hayes addressed the jury with raw emotion. Prince Rogers Nelson was more than an artist. He was a guardian of truth, a man who dared to confront the darkness of this industry. He paid with his life, but his voice, speaking from beyond the grave, has delivered justice. Sean Combs didn't just steal Prince's life, he stole the light of a legend. On sentencing day, the courtroom brimmed with tension packed to the walls. Outside, Prince's fans stood vigil, clutching signs that read "Justice for Prince." As Judge Grayson delivered the verdict, his voice rang like a fateful toll. Sean Combs, for the charges of first-degree murder, drug trafficking, sexual violence, and additional counts, is sentenced to life in prison without parole. Diddy, now a frail shadow of his former self, hung his head as he was led from the courtroom. The crowd outside erupted in cheers, but among them, silent tears fell for Prince, the man who even from beyond used his voice to expose the truth. Cassie stood in a corner of the room, clinging tightly to her husband, Alex Fine. She said nothing, but her eyes spoke volumes. She had fought for the truth at the cost of years lived in fear. As the sun sank over Manhattan, the saga of Diddy and Prince lingered like a ghost haunting those who witnessed the trial. Prince's final recording, a prophetic cry from beyond the grave, didn't just topple an empire. It unleashed a far greater question. What other secrets lie buried in Paisley Park's archives? Who else did Diddy manipulate, threaten, or even destroy? Is the music industry, cloaked in glamour, yet riddled with shadows, ready to face the truth beneath Paisley Park's basement? Other wooden boxes rest silently in the dark. Inside, perhaps, are unheard recordings and unspoken names. Prince, with his meticulous care and far-reaching vision, left behind more than music. He left a clarion call for justice. Somewhere in the echoes of his lingering melodies, his soul waits poised to speak.